Okay, we're recording back in the RRX. My stupid app, as you can see, won't give me a preview of what I'm recording, so hopefully you can see everything I'm doing. But anyway, I wanted to do this video because I realized that I didn't ever show how to take this dash apart. And today's the day we're going to fix my screw up. Screwing up the gauges there. And we're going to put some, hopefully put some new ones in. So we'll see. I just gave it away, right? That's what we're doing today, guys. So yeah, one thing that I discovered, I ordered the a new gauge cluster, and new to me anyway, and it's got this same space in here, and it's one for the auto, and it's got all the lights and the instrumentation to show you what gear you're in for the automatic transmission. Anyway, this space is here and it's all blacked out, but it's so pronounced on the auto, it leads me to believe they had basically one part number or one way to manufacture this cluster in 91, and they left it open to where it could be an automatic or not. So that's what Honda did in my opinion. I think that's what they did anyway. I don't know. The tools you're going to need to get this off, the bezel and your instrument cluster. The ones I use are a short, stubby Phillips and a little flathead. Typically, you will have two screws, one here and one here. You can see where my fingers are. I don't have those in. I don't bother even putting them in because, well, A, when I got the car back from the mechanic, if you want to call them that, they were missing. B, I've been removing this cluster so many times, just trying to learn and figure out what I want to do, that I don't see any need to put them back in there. It doesn't rattle without them in there, and you've got two back there to hold this in, and that's really all you need. This is a very lightweight piece of plastic, so I mean, what more do you need to hold it in there? So so I just use the two that are back here. There's one here and one here. I'm actually missing my cover. There's two little screw covers. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see it from the camera. I wish I could see the preview screen on my app, but anyway, what I do is I use this little tiny flathead, just kind of get a feel for it, and just pop this cover out. There it is. Here's the cover. Don't know if you can see it, but so there's that. Then I'm going to take my Phillips and kind of, it's odd, you got to kind of feel for it. So yeah, you just kind of got to go for it and feel for it where the screw is and get it up out of there. This is of course not going to go as smooth because I'm filming it, but you know, that's how these things go. There we go. There's one, and then there's another one over here. And there we go, yes. And a stubby Phillips makes it so much easier because, as you can see, I've got, what, 2 inches for my hand to really fit in here in between the windshield and the bezel of this tiny little car. The real OGs film like this. They show you all the struggles that they have in real time. And up to this point, I haven't really done that. But, yeah. Come on, doggy. What's going on? And, of course, windows are fogging up because I got my hot-ass breath in here. And it's a kind of a chilly day here in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, this thing is being real special today. Come on. And I got fat fingers, so it's hard to get in there. You know? That's what she said. Anyway, so yeah. And this little microphone is another thing that's really annoying me. I don't know what to do with it. I was going to tuck it into the headliner, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. And I'll explain why I didn't at that time. Or at this time, I should say. Now, this one has a stubborn little clip in it, this little hazard switch. So I like to just get a little flathead on the side of it. And you can't see this, but there's a little lip in there. And it just kind of helps me pull it out here. Maybe not. Maybe not this time, huh? Was it something I said? Let's see here. Come on, baby. Don't be like that. Sometimes you just gotta talk nice to it, you know? Talk nice to the car. Hey, baby, it's okay. I still love you. You know, shit like that. Alright, so... what are you doing to me? Why are you trying to ruin my life here? So there's a push button on the top of that switch. And then, like I said, there's a little lip on the side that I just used to kind of pry it apart. Because even though I've had this apart, I don't know, 150 times, well, it still likes to be stubborn as hell. There we go, we got that one. So I just kind of press down. There's a button right in the center of it. You can kind of feel with your finger. And then there's a lip on the side you can get your flathead in. And I just kind of wiggle it till it pops out, if that makes any sense. Now over here, same kind of deal. You got some buttons on your little Molex connectors back here. And you just kind of work them apart. So this one, the dimmer switch for your instrumentation it's kind of a squeeze this way, if I remember correctly. And it too is kind of tight. I mean, this one's usually easier to get this. Yep. Okay, so the hazard's easier. It's got a button on top. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. It's a little green plug. Now I just got to get this last one out. And this one, I think, is one of the more difficult ones every single time. But, you know, we'll see. Yeah, it's difficult when you got big fat hands and roll those windows down. It's too hot in here. Okay. There we go. Yes. So now what I do is I kind of lift it away like so, and I kind of just do this and let it hang, because I've got this really short LED wire that I need to address today. I'm not going to do it right this minute, but that's what I do, and I just let it kind of rest there. So these were the plugs. So here's, you can see there's a button here kind of, and one here. They're all kind of pushed down, but this one's super like aggro to try and get out, so there's a little lip on the side of it. That's what I use to pry out of there. And then you've got 4 screws, 4 Phillips in this case. These are really tricky to try and get out. I like using needle nose at the same time I use a screwdriver to try and get these out. Let's see if I've got them in here. I don't know if I do. Well, these ones are easy to get to, the top ones. So hopefully you guys can see everything I'm doing. I hate it when that stupid app doesn't work, and it seems like the GoPro app works less than 50% of the time, if I'm honest. So if you're getting a GoPro, food for thought. If you're planning on using the app exclusively, or even a lot, or depending on it, don't. It usually doesn't work. Also, that goes for the remote. I did spring for the remote too, because I was going to control multiple cameras at once, and I had this grand idea of what I wanted to do. That too is finicky and only works part of the time, in my opinion. The first day I got it, it worked great. After that, it was hit and miss. Just in case you're thinking about the GoPro thing. Yeah. So now I'm just trying to see how I'm going to get my Phillips head lined up with my Phillips screw. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You know you want to come out of there. You know you do. Just come on, quit being difficult. Just come on with it. You know you want to. And then hopefully we don't lose this into the black abyss in here somewhere, because yeah, it's entirely possible and a pain in the ass if it happens. Okay. So see how much room is in here? Not enough. And I'm just kind of being very careful to not lose it. And I'm putting them right here, so I know where they're at. And then same thing on this side. This side's the hardest one, I think, because it's so deep in there. because you got this lip here on the dash. And yeah, sorry if the lighting is not very good in here. I'm really not doing anything to address that. Come on, baby. Why can't we just be friends? Oh, I think that was the spot. Oh yeah, that feels like it might be. That's what she said. Oh yeah, right there, baby, right there. Be good to me. You know what I like. Oh yeah, right there, baby. I love it when you cooperate. That's a good little screw, dashboard screw piece of crap. Oh, there we go. Okay, whew. Barely enough room to get my fat fingers in there, and then boom. Then you can kind of lift this out of here, right? So you can't see it, but there's a harness here, which should be fairly easy to get out because I've done it 150 times, but you know, they still fit really tight despite that. Here's one. So I just, again, with the button on top. And then there's a plug right in here. Now, interestingly enough, my new cluster that I got, which was an automatic and it had cruise control, this car does not. So here's another one, has another plug-in up here. And I assume that's for the cruise control, light, and sensor and other things. I'm not really sure, 100%. Maybe somebody in the know can let us know in the comments. But either way, like I said, there's 3 little, oh my gosh, this thing does not want to come out today. I'm just kind of wiggling it and pressing that button, see if I can get it up out of there. It's being extra special today. Extra special. Oh my God. Come on. There. I don't know what the hell is your problem today, but so here's your your main plug here. And then you'll have a little cylindrical little plug here. It also has a button. It's like a little collar, and that's your speedo cable. So you just press that, and again, I wish you guys could see all this stuff. I'll show it to you when I pull this away so you can see what it looks like, and there are other videos that show this stuff, but okay, finally it's free. Okay, speedo cable, and then the 3 harnesses there. My little repair job, this little I don't know what you call it, this little bracket for your screw kept falling out and it was all loose, so I just put a little dab of glue and hold it in there, and then this one's still kind of loose. Stock ones are kind of black in color like that. Anyway, there you go. That's what it looks like. So yeah, cluster is free. Okay, we're back. So this is a look at the back of both of the clusters. Now this is the one I just pulled out. You'll notice the plug missing here. Now the difference is this came out of an automatic with cruise control, so I imagine that's what that's for. I've gone ahead and decided to go with this one because it's much cleaner than the one that I have in every way, from wiring, as you can see, to really just everything. So what I've done is, since LED bulbs are kind of a pain to work with in that they only work one way, I figured out which way all of these work. These are not the exact bulbs you want to put in here. They're 74 if you want to just plug them into the factory housings. These ones here. So yeah, if you get a bunch of 74 LEDs, 74 type, you can plug them right in. But I already had a bunch of these T5 and T4s laying around, and then I have the 174 in here because of the style of connection. I wanted to just keep it factory, as you'll see. So what I'm going to do is, I just put a black mark with a Sharpie on the top of each one of them, type of deal, so I know what the 12 o'clock position is. of each of these, so that when I remove them, I can just put them back in here and orientate them the way that they need to be. Now on this one, I've already removed the T4s that I had in the front of the cluster. These are the ones that kind of, oh, well, that one just fell out for me, thanks. Here and here, they kind of shine the light down, and I've already removed those and installed them in here. This one never had a good connection, and that's probably why, because you can see that it just fell out of the cluster, so we'll replace that one first. I'm going to set that there and see if I can get my fat fingers in here. There we go. Put that to the side. These had like a blue kind of diffuser coating on them, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. My puppy is being a good puppy, isn't he? You better be good, little chunk man. Anyway, so we will align this. So it's got these little clips on the side that kind of align with this stuff here. So we'll see how tightly it fits too. Come on, be good to me. There we go. There we go. And oh, that's a much tighter fit than was on there. This one might work like a charm. I like that. I like that a lot. Now we'll just remove this other one. Same kind of deal, and that's what I'm going to do across the board here. This kind of seepage here from the, I don't know what you would call it. It's old solder, basically. That's never a good sign. So I'm hoping this cluster works after all this, especially after me spending 150 bucks on it with shipping from eBay. I'm glad eBay exists. I think eBay is somewhat evil bay, but I'm glad it exists, because the hard to find parts and the 30-year-old parts that you need on a EF, it's basically one of the only places I know of that you're going to find them. So take this out. See, there's a little tiny bulb. I'm literally going to unplug, come right over, don't move my hand either way, and plug right back in. So hopefully it's orientated the correct way to where it's going to just work. Fingers crossed. And we're just going to slide it right back in there. Because it's kind of a pain when you get to working on this, and let's say you get this one and it's not orientated the correct way. Well, you got to flip it 180 degrees, right? 180 degrees, which is fine. Problem with that is, if you have everything already plugged in, you have to unplug all this stuff, pull the cluster back out just to take this out and put it the other way. If that makes any sense. So yeah, we want to try and avoid all that. So get them right the first time, mark them, make sure that they're, and pretty much all these clusters are the same. They're all plug and play. I'm pretty sure I'll have no problem using this automatic cluster in my manual car. I'm just not going to plug that in, obviously. And I'm going to use the fuel gauges and everything that came in this cluster, because it's just a lot cleaner. I screwed up the other one. And it's hard to find a manual cluster. I haven't seen one on eBay. They're hard to find. Interestingly enough, I have another one coming, but that's only because I wanted the bezel piece, the hood that goes around this. And I found one, and they're all right around $100 or between 100 and 150 bucks on eBay if you look for them right now, anyway. And this one came with a cluster for the same price, and the pigtails that go in here and everything, and I'm just like, man, I can't pass that up. So, and it was really clean, and it had the missing, remember I said I had the missing cap on the one side, it's on this side of the hood, if you remember, and it comes with all that. It's all complete. So I was like, you know what, score, for the same price, I'll get all of it. And so hopefully I'm happy with that when it arrives, but it's not here yet. And ultimately, that's not my end game plan for this cluster in my CRX. I've got other plans, but for right now, this is what we're doing. See, you can tell. I mean, look at the history of this one. There's a lot going on here. I mean, why all the missing bulbs, you know, tied in here? Somebody had a tack before, I think, and they used this for the illumination wire, which, I mean, I guess kind of makes sense. It's one of the easiest ways to do it, I guess. Whatever. But, yeah. So, quite the history on that. Whole car has quite a history. But, I'm hoping all this works the first time, just seamlessly. I think what my plan's going to be is I'm going to tape off that center gauge, and I'm going to literally spray paint that, let's see, did I put them all in? Yeah. So all the bulbs are in. I'm going to just flip this over and show you what I'm talking about. This piece here, the gear indicator, I'm just going to spray paint that flat black. I'm going to tape it off and hope for the best. Hopefully that takes care of our problem. But to do that, I have to take this apart. So you have to pry all these tabs in. There's 2 down here and 3 up top. Pry that apart and go from there. You still being good over there, Chunk Master? Chunk Meister? Good dog. Such a cute little puppy. How can you be mad at a face like that? Anyways. Well, so this is the way that this goes up top here. I'm just going to mark it so I know. Because I've got to undo this in order to take that front plate off. Okay. Oh, these clips are, this has probably never been apart. And see how fresh they look? So it's probably going to be a real chore getting this apart. Hopefully not. We'll see. And then you just kind of work your way down. Oh, you know what? Not too bad so far. Famous last words, but you know. I'm just kind of pressing down on them. There we go. And this should all just kind of lift away now. Boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Haha. So yeah, so this is the gauge we need to address this piece here. So to get to that, what we need to do is get these screws out. There's 3 over here, 3 over here. Now you want to be real careful with these because if you'll notice, this paper here, basically, this circuit board paper, for lack of a better way of describing it, is exactly that. These are your power connections as well. They're actually marked. Here's your ground. Here's a positive. This is your tack signal, I would imagine. Pretty sure it is. Incidentally, this is the wire they tied into on my car to put in their monster tack years ago. So yeah, that was fun. I can't help but notice that this bulb here is tweaked. This is the check engine light, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, that's cruise on this one. Yeah, mine doesn't have cruise. It's that the one above that is the check engine light. So it looks like it had been removed before and reinstalled, and I don't know why, but maybe this thing has a history I don't know about. Of course it does. Anyway, I'm going to try and get these off. We'll go from there. And I had this one off on the other cluster, so I think what I did was pried this up. Yep, I know I did. And that's simple as that. We need to get a tiny little Phillips, which I have in this drawer right here. You still being good? Are you being a good boy? Yes, my little good little chunky. All right, so yes, there we go. Take this out. And this. And this. Oh. I'm trying to... Oh, really? Really? That's what we're doing? I had to take all of them out to take this. Okay, well, to take this out, you've got to take every fucking thing out. And I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I can. I just don't really want to. Ugh. Alright, well. Kind of committed to this now, so we're going to go ahead and do it. Alright, well. Like I said, we're committed to this. We're going to do it. So get these screws out here. There's 4 on the speedometer. 3 on the tack. And then you got these. Notice how the Speedo's got 2 big ones and 2 little ones. Kind of weird. They're different sizes than all the rest. These are for the tack. Interesting, right? So then you can pull the Speedo. And finally, this little fuel gauge that I needed to address. So we're gonna set this over here, and maybe we should make sure that there's no bulbs behind here to light that up. Oh, I guess we can't. We can't even get to that. Well, a piece of black tape behind here I think will block the light out nicely. We don't want that lit up, that's for sure. So yeah, might have been a good idea to use this housing and then just use the faces of these in here. I don't know. This one was in overall better condition though, so. We are going to go and paint this now, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, we're back. So, painter's tape and electrical tape and every other kind of tape. We took this outside and we spray painted it. And as you can see, I very carefully taped up the needles so that we wouldn't get any tape, or I mean any paint or overspray on them, because that's not what we wanted, right? Just wanted to convert this from automatic to manual. Which I hope it turned out okay. Oh no! It could be a little better. You can see a little bit through it. I think it'll be okay because I've got tape, black tape on the other side. Be able to see just a faint hint of it. I think I can live with that for now. Hopefully. Wish I wouldn't have messed up my other one, but it's basically melted because of that goof off I put on there. If you watched the other video, you will have seen what I did to it, and well, I don't think there's any coming back from that. It's a delicate print they have on here, and this is what happened. You see all the film around the edges there and the shiny bits? That's literally the goof off that melted on the face of there, and I'm not going to be able to fix that. I don't think so. This is going to have to do. And it looks like I could have got a little bit more on the edge here. But I mean, overall, it's not terrible. Let's see how much we're going to notice it here. Oh yeah, it's noticeable. But it's livable. I think I can live with it. So we're gonna run with it. That's what we're gonna do. And then I cleaned these up. I just kind of gave them a wipe down. Because, you know, they need it. I'm going to do that with these as well. Not on the freshly painted surface, but just, you know, around it. What I did was I took these I would describe these as very gentle, like cleansing cloths. They're called Wipeout. They're really, I think you can get them at the dollar store or something. They're really not all that, but because they're so weak, that's what I'm using on here. And then I'm just wiping them off with this tissue paper here I had, which I should probably grab another one. Let's go ahead and do that. So, yeah, just kind of wiping them off here, very lightly, very gingerly. We don't want to damage the face because these are so sensitive, as I'm finding out. And yeah, we don't need that. We don't need another round of having to go through this again. So, yeah, here we are. So let's start reinstalling this. You'll see I put some black tape on here, and that's going to block out whatever light might show up from any lights that are in here. Hopefully, in theory. Hopefully that stays. I really hope. But yeah, I think it will once I get this like smashed down over the top of it. Incidentally, these little caps, they fall off, so be careful with those. One thing I did notice is if they need to be calibrated, I bet you that's what this little flathead's for. Turn that dial, because these are the mounting screws, as you can see. So let's set this back in there, right where it goes, and screw it back on here. And that was these little screws here, if you can see. I don't know if you can see because my stupid little GoPro app isn't working, but I've said that for like, that's like the 1,000th time I've said that today, I think. So you guys get the picture of my frustration with GoPro. Yes. But what else am I going to talk about, you know? I got to bitch. There's something to bitch about, you know. Best believe I want to do it, right? Huh. Anyway. I'm going to bolt this up kind of loosely right now, and I'm just going to barely snug it a little bit more than that once I, you know, get everything in here. If that makes any sense. Because, yeah. This is very sensitive stuff. Very thin. And I don't want to damage it. It's 30 years old, so, you know. Be careful with it. Be careful. I'm going to look at the front when we're done here just to make sure nothing moved around. It's still in the spot it needs to be in before tightening it the rest of the way. Let's take a look. Yes, it appears to be in the same spot. There's these little tabs that kind of fit into it to make sure it's positioned correctly. So, yeah, good deal. So let's go ahead and finish tightening this up. As you can see, I'm just snugging it, basically. See how it's already deforming the paper there? You don't want to get too carried away. Just enough to where it makes contact and does its thing. Okay. And this guy goes back. See, you've got these little indentations here. You got a tab here. All this stuff just kind of lines up. And you press it home. There it is. Whoop, there it is. So you do that. Now, let's put the tack back in. Again, there are tabs to help you line it up, which is nice, here and here. And then you have 3 screws for the tack, which are these. I don't know, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I think I'm looking down a little too far for you to be able to see anything. Hopefully you can see it. Make sure it's in the right position. It's still in the right position. Being careful not to touch the faces once I've cleaned them. Snugging the bolts, or whatever you want to call them, screws, I guess. Because they are, not, I guess they're kind of bolts. Like, these are kind of bolts, right? As opposed to a screw, because it's, screws to me are always, you know, they have a pointy point to them, right? These don't. These are actually the little machine screws. Bolts, whatever, machine screws, whatever you want to call them. But now we're going to set the speedometer in here. My finger's on one of the guides, and I just kind of use this odometer trip reset to kind of hang on to this. Okay, got the cluster all put back together. That black line in the center didn't turn out too bad. This glass on this cluster is just a lot better, in a lot better condition. There's still some light scratches in it, but it's way better than the one that I was working with. So I'm happy with that. Hopefully everything works. We'll see you in the car. Okay, we got everything plugged in. Now is the moment of truth. Voila, they work. Very good. So I'm going to button everything up, and glad to have this temporary fix. I say temporary because, again, this is probably not my end game for my gauges, but they look 1,000% better than they did. Non-messed up tack and non-melted gauges. I like that. I'm a fan. All right.